Hi, I'm Denise Miller, your Leadership Lady Live, and we're continuing on the theme of storytelling this week. Today, we're going to talk about the role of storytelling in leadership. Before we go any further, though, I do have a question to ask you. Remember that great leaders aren't just good communicators, they're skilled storytellers. Do you tell stories when you lead? Stories can be very simple, they can be very complex, but what most people seem to get wrong is thinking that leadership storytelling is about entertainment. Actually, it's about being more effective. And today, I'll be showing you how your stories can become your secret weapon for influencing, inspiring, and driving results. But before we go any further, if you're getting value from the tips that I'm posting every week, please take a moment to like this video, to subscribe, or to follow for more content like this. Please share it with other leaders in your network. Now, let's go on to discover and consider why stories work in leadership. First of all, when you tell a story, something remarkable happens in your listener's brain. The neurons that connect them with you in the story fire, and it creates a shared experience for them. They feel your story. They feel it like they lived it. A well-told story can change minds faster than any data presentation alone. Yes, the data matters, but the story helps it along tremendously. Here are four types of stories that every leader needs to tell. The first is the vision story. This paints a picture of the future you're working toward. Steve Jobs told the story of a day when you'd carry the internet and music in your pocket. Your phone would go along with you everywhere. One device takes it all. He didn't tell us about Apple, he told us about the vision. Then there's the value story that demonstrates what your organization stands for through real examples. One of my favorite stories is the story of Nordstrom when they talked about a, a, a Nordstrom representative taking back tires that were sold to someone by a tire store that was on that property before Nordstrom ever built their store. Now, that seems so far-fetched, but it really is a good indicator of what we used to love to call back in the day the Nordstrom way. When you're telling the story of a team member going above and beyond for a customer, that story reinforces the values that are more powerful than any inspirational quote on a wall. Then there's the failure story. That's usually your own story as a leader, where you share how you overcame a mistake or you learned from a failure. When you do that, you give your team permission to take risks and to grow, knowing that you're not going to penalize them for failing, and they can trust you as being human. And the change story, which helps people to navigate transitions. The story, though, must be authentic. Don't manufacture emotions, don't exaggerate for effect. Just tell the simple story because people can sense when you're exaggerating, and then you cause them to distrust you. The most powerful stories are really the simplest ones, the moments that genuinely shaped your thinking or revealed something important about your values. Now, think about this. I challenge you to think about some of the stories that you're relating and some stories that you've not related that you can relate. The story is a leadership foundation, but knowing how to craft and deliver a story for maximum impact is something totally different. In fact, I'm personally working on learning to craft stories even better. So I'm in this right along with you this week. Stories are where the real influence happens. And on Friday, as we dive deep into the specific techniques for delivering stories, turning good stories into great stories, into wonderful transformation tools. And now I want to remind you that if you want to accelerate your leadership development, I'll be hosting the High Road Leadership Mastermind, which will run 4 consecutive Tuesdays from July 8th through July 29th, where we'll be spending 75 minutes on a Tuesday evening exploring advanced leadership strategies that go far beyond what I can cover in these short videos. Check the description for the details. Also, email me or go into my website to subscribe for more leadership tips and insights. Remember also to share this with someone you know. In fact, share it with everyone you know. As you know, it helps my algorithm and it helps me to get the message out to a lot more people who will be able to take advantage of what I've had the privilege of learning. Have a wonderful balance of the day.